You're having too much fun watching that. You're having far too much fun watching that now.
Way too much fun. But not as much fun as I had breaking this board. And wrecking the die.
Really? I mean, it is a 2011. I can't really defend it. That board got what it deserved. Right? Yeah, can you give this one back to Tagir?
Yeah, I can. Do that no backlight.
Which one? What's the no
The one I
backlight?
gave you and put on your desk.
Oh.
I took the easy no power, and I gave you the easy no backlight before Paul gets his hands on it.
I got the easy no backlight before Paul gets his hands on it?
I mean, I think it's an easy no backlight.
Oh, yay. Why is my phone buzzing when there's no phone ringing? Why are you buzzing, you pile of garbage? Oh my.
Where'd you put that in this?
Put what?
This board?
I don't know. Oh, here. Garbage can.
I'm going to use this as a donor board for customers that come in with the 2011.
I want to send 64 volts to another 2011.
Yeah. We should just tell them this is what happens to your graphics card so that they leave.
Alright, so today we've got another MacBook. This is an A1398, and the stated problem is no backlight. I'm going to try turning it on and see if that's what actually happens. So first thing to do, let's see if we get an image and a chime. Get this flashlight away from me.
What?
I think I can make your afternoon, says Euphoric Tribble. CNET just released an article on the 2018 MacBook Pro issues, and they said following reports of heat issues leading to throttle performance, Apple has determined that a simple software bug was to blame, and has released what it hopes is a quick fix. Ah, what do you mean? You mean reprogramming the VRMs so that they don't try to draw the full amount of power, but only draw the amount that they're thermally capable of before failing, and just, yeah. So you'll only get like this much throttling instead of this much throttling. Yeah, great motherboard. Alright, so this little MacBook appears to be dead, which sucks because I was hoping to use my dual power supplies to charge my giant bicycle battery, which you could see if I do this. Yeah, see, I got a giant bike battery here, and I've actually daisy-chained my two power supplies to give it 59.8 volts, but I gotta stop that because I gotta work, which sucks, because I want to charge my battery from my bike.
Just use this.
I gotta get a separate charger for work.
Just use this.
Oh, yay! Handy dandy assistant has handed me a charger so that I don't have to stop charging my bicycle. That's just great. God bless assistant. What laptop do you recommend for students? A ThinkPad.
Well, we have to plug this in somewhere.
Okay. Well, while my assistant is trying to find a spare plug to plug this into, I'm going to take the bottom screws out of the casing. Actually, I have to find a magnet. I know. I think you stole it.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.
That guy in the front worked with Frank Zappa.
Really?
Yeah, I recognize him.
Coming in earlier. Yeah, we
That guy in the front worked with Frank Zappa, the guy that you were helping. Yeah. You like Frank Zappa?
Yeah.
I love Frank Zappa. That's cool.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
I worked in that business for a long time.
Oh. Like you saw his name?
No, I saw his face. And I saw his name in the tickets. I tried not to fangirl. I can't do to people what people do to me.
He's really nice.
I know.
Go and say hi.
No, I can't. I'm not gonna do to him what YouTube fucks do to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you Lewis? Can I get a picture? I can't do that. No. But I approve. I hope that his computer works long and well. All right.
I had to unplug your light for a second. So I could get this to
I'll give him the courtesy that I want, which is that I won't say hi to him. All right. So we've got a. So it is turning on now, and this MacBook. Let's see if it gives us It does give us an Apple logo, but it gives us no backlight. Okay. Didn't you just kind of do that because you're streaming it? That dude is way too old to know how to watch a live stream on YouTube. He was old when Frank Zappa was new, to put it that way. So, I love Frank Zappa. Dental floss. Where can we find your repair prices? Prices can be found on rossmangroup.com. So, like, you can find the price here. You just don't type in the boards part. Yeah, so rossmangroup.com. Okay. Let's unplug the battery and all this junk and see why this little MacBook has no backlight. First thing to do with the MacBook is check out the LCD connector. This is what I get for cutting my nails. Now I have to use a tweezer to take that off. Let's turn on the microscope. I'm gonna be moving to Montana soon to get myself some dental floss. Raising it up, cutting it down. Something uptown. Do you like Frank Zappa, Daniel? Am I kidding? Oh my God. I'm gonna play some for you later. You'll like Frank Zappa. He's a weird. What? He's not Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra and Frank Zappa are different.
Yeah, but it sounds like the same name.
Do you recommend ThinkPads for real? No, I'm just making that up. I'm just fucking with you for the sake of fucking with you because I find that to be fun. Yes, I recommend ThinkPads for real. Okay, so. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is see what voltage I get on pin 1 when it chimes and turns on. So it just chimed, and it's going to turn on. This one I don't think this one has a current sensing circuit for backlight. So yeah, I think they implemented that in 2013. So it's possible that it is actually the fuse. So first thing I'm going to do is get the good old meter turned on. It looks like we have 0 volts at LCD backlight. And I'm just going to open up the schematic in the board view for those of you who are new and don't really understand what it is I'm looking for. Because if you're new to the channel, you're wondering, why the hell is he measuring pin 1? How does he know that pin 1 is for backlight? That's a great question. That's a good question. And if you're... Yeah, I've been doing the same thing on YouTube for like 4 years. But the thing is, there are new people that come to watch that this could be their first stream. And one thing I try to do with these videos is make it so that if it's your first time watching, that you don't get bummed out by thinking, I can't figure this out, it's too hard. So what I do, here's my little board view software. So the screen connects to this thing. Now I can click this button here, thanks to Paul Daniels, and it'll show up on the software.
He wants to say hi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Oh boy. Fangirl time. Holy crap, the Frank Zappa guy knows who I am. Wow, I fangirled. I tried not to fangirl. I didn't fangirl, but then Steve said that he wanted to talk to me. The guy actually recognized me. He was at Avatar when I was there in 2008 and 7. I worked at Avatar Studios for 2007 and 8. I was an intern, and then I started working in the tech shop room. Oh man, those were fun times. I'll show you what that place looked like. Let's see if I can show you on the screen. Yeah, so I used to work here 10 long years ago. Actually 11. So this was so cool. I fixed bus switches. I actually replaced light bulbs up here. Let's see. I fixed a bunch of bus switches on this console. The bus switches on these consoles would go crazy. A couple of 31102 modules. I tried to recone these, but I fucked up. Phil Lipscomb helped me out. Let's see, what else? Wow. Long time ago, man. Studio B. Yeah, I did a bunch of... I did, I think, channel 1 through 25 bus switches on this console in 2008. I worked on 2 of the Pultecs that you see over here. I actually shocked myself at 350 volts because I'm an idiot. And then there's Studio C. This is not a Neve console. This is that Siemens piece of shit. When Siemens bought Neve, Siemens sucks. This thing roasts. This is like the Apple of... This is like the MacBook of consoles. This is the i9 MacBook of consoles. Let me show you. The Neve VRP, such a piece of shit. You had to have the AC in the room on all the time, and the constant heat would dry out all the electrolytic capacitors. Never buy a Neve VRP. It doesn't sound like a Neve, it doesn't work like a Neve, it just has a Neve logo. Total shit. Yeah, this is the guy. I actually emailed this dude when I was 16 years old, and he was the only one that responded to me. And then I had no idea that I went to interview with the same person. Yeah, and I got to work for him for a while. Oh man, this is a picture of Gretchen. Let me see. Do you have a picture of Gretchen over here? This is the lady that I work next to right here. Oh man, if you guys think I curse too much, dude, you had to be here. Gretchen, oh my god, I made her curse me out so many times. I was such an idiot when I was a kid. Yeah, he taught me a lot, and she taught me a lot too. They really beat into me the idea of a good work ethic and problem solving. Let's see, what does they have for in residence? Do they have the tech shop here about us? Do they have actual pictures of that room? Tell me you got pictures of the tech room. Staff? Jobs. Let's see what the job says. When I quit, it still had on the site, we're looking for, let's see. Always looking for techs. Wow. This has been there since I quit in 2008. Wow. Well, I guess it's hard to find good people who know how to work on that shit. Anyway, where was I? Sorry, I'm fangirling. I'll read some of your chat and then...
Breakfast or something?
I'm kind of hungry. You watched the Big Clive video he's talking about you? No, I didn't see it. Please link me to it. Did you recover something from the LG phone? No, because we're waiting for the password. Actually, he sent us the password when Paul left, so now he's got to wait for Paul to come back to get that info. He emailed back, but it's on the bottom of the pile now. That's the thing. If you send in a phone and you don't give us the password, it just winds up in the bottom of the pile. And then you have to wait for there to be nothing better to do for us to get data off it. Send it in with the damn password. Can the VRM be replaced with better chokes and other stuff? It possibly can be, but I need to find an engineer who, could tell me what to replace it with, because I don't really know shit about that. Guitar Center is a job opening. I wonder if they torture people. Oh, man, so much to read. So much to read. Why did you quit? I quit because it didn't seem like the happiest of work environments, and there was a dude there that was 12 years older than me that made like he made somewhere between 12 and 14 bucks an hour. I think it was 12, and I just thought, like, this dude has a master's degree. He's 12 years older than me. So if I stay here for 12 years, and I don't even have a college degree, like, I thought to myself, I just can't risk being broke for like the next 20 years of my life. So, and I thought I could do more at a smaller studio than there, because at Avatar I loved it. It was just I was a cog in a big machine, and there's and also the other thing there is they had this thing where they would call people the kids. Anybody who was under the age of 27 was part of the group called the kids. So I started when I was 17, so I figured I could work here for 10 years and I could still be referred to as, a kid and not seen as somebody that's worth like really listening to or respecting or anything like that. And it's not that they were disrespectful, it's just, studio culture. If you're a fucking intern, you're a kid. But I didn't want to be considered that when I'm 27. I think I made the right choice. I have a store now. They got sold to Berkeley. Maybe I did. Who knows? Anyway, back to this. So what was I talking about? I got so much to edit out of the damn video now. It's ridiculous. So back to this. Memory lane. So if we're looking at J9000, this is the LCD connector. So how do I know that I should measure pin 1 to see if I'm getting a backlight? Well, it says over here, PPV out, SO, LCD backlight, pin 1. So that's how I know to check that. Now let's go to where the backlight circuit is. Let's go to the page that has the backlight circuit and take a look at what's going on here. So the first thing that I'm interested in this backlight circuit is checking the backlight fuse at F9700. So if I go to F9700 and I just right click it, because Paul Daniels' software is amazing, and I just slide this over, and I check out F9700 right here. Let's see what voltage I get on both sides. Someone says, I make 14 an hour, 4 years with the same employer, doing PC refurbs and repairs, and generate 6 figures annually. What do you do exactly? That would be my question. Like, are you doing something that's valuable that cannot be replaced, or are you just reinstalling operating systems and shit like that? Okay, so one side of the fuse is 12.6 volts, and the other side of the fuse is 0 volts. So there's a chance that I managed to get a machine that is just a fuse. Wouldn't that be something? Hey, Paul, wouldn't that be something? Is Paul watching? I hope Paul's not watching. Paul's going to be mad if he's watching this. And Paul comes in tomorrow, so I only have 1 day left to grab all the easy shit, so I can't fuck around here. Oh god, I tried to raise the amps on the power supply. It did not like that one bit. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we have a short to ground on output, because a short to ground on output would cause the fuse to blow. I'm not going to replace the fuse if I have reason to believe that the fuse will blow again. And there's 119 kilo ohms to ground on output, which means that this is probably just a blown fuse. Imagine that. Imagine that. Alright, so we're going to replace this fuse and then leave some touch bars with no image for Paul. What caused the fuse to blow? I don't know. Bad luck, maybe? Who knows? No. Doing a repair business for a year now, and it's awesome. This channel is the reason I started my shop. Big thanks for the great channel, videos, and the community. Thank you. I'm really glad that you were able to start something out, and I wish you the best of luck. And, yeah. That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that you found some success. Okay. I thought you didn't pick the easy ones. Of course I don't pick the easy ones. On one hand, it sucks that I picked the easy ones, and the other ones I am buying Paul 1000 watt Befang motorbike with a 52 volt 17.5 amp hour battery and a Schwinn Searcher 2 bike with disc brakes and front suspension to ride on. So I think I can throw Paul a couple of touch bar no images without guilt. He'll have fun. Time to get a fuse. Okay. I need to make sure to plug in the normal MagSafe and not the MagSafe that's attached to my 29 volt power supply, because that would be sad. So, uh-oh. Alright. It came unplugged. I guess you don't have to worry about the connector ever coming unplugged with the new machines, because it's a USB plug. Hey, there's a backlight. Look at that. It's fixed. Much repaired. Did you hear about Apple removing the data recovery ports? Yep, in yesterday's video. I may have found the source for newer and rare schematics in the dark web. I'll let you know when I found a steady source for them. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, time to leave some notes. Interned at a computer repair shop when I was 17. Most repairs felt like we were overcharging the customer. I didn't stay long. Define overcharging. What were you doing and what were you billing? Louis, did you see Apple released about throttling of pros? I didn't see the article, but do link me.
All my payment methods are just missing. So yeah. I was gonna do it on my card, but like it's not there anymore, so.
Crap. I actually have to go and do some other things that are not involving repair at the moment. So I'm afraid I must end stream. Actually, before I end the stream, I should probably read this. This is going to make me angry. Is this going to make me angry? Alright. MacBook Pro CPU throttling controversy continues as Intel says it's okay. The controversy over the 2018 MacBook Pro delivering less than its claimed base speed continues as Extreme Tech notes that Intel has long held the view that it's okay for laptop manufacturers to deviate from stated CPU specs. The furor began when YouTube videos showed that the maxed out 2018 MacBook Pro didn't seem capable of delivering the claimed performance of its 2.9 GHz 6-core i9 processor. YouTuber Dave Lee found in Adobe Premiere test that the MacBook Pro not only failed to apply turbo boost to achieve a high clock speed for a demanding task, it actually dropped the speed down as far as 2.2 GHz, below the base level for the chip. Rerunning the test with the MacBook Pro in a freezer demonstrated that the problem was extremely aggressive thermal throttling. We ran our own test with Apple's own Final Cut Pro at 10 software and were able to replicate the results. Extremely aggressive throttling with 6 cores, making it actually slower than 4 cores, and a significant speed boost with the machine in the freezer. As Extreme Tech notes, Intel decided as long ago as 2015 that it was okay for manufacturers to apply their own thermal throttling approaches, even if that resulted in wildly different performance from the same CPU. Intel explained that it had given OEMs more freedom to set certain specifications for their own systems. One example the company gave was skin temperature. If OEMs wanted to specify a low skin temperature that had the side effect of keeping the CPU clock speed from turboing as high as a competitive system from a different OEM that traded a higher skin temperature for better thermal performance, that was fine by Intel, even if it also meant two systems with the same CPU might perform very differently. Of course, as the site's Joel Ruska says, there's a big difference between limiting turbo capabilities and dropping below the base speed for the chip. And while manufacturers will argue that it's impossible to predict performance in the infinitely variable usage found in the real world, Ruska says this is no excuse. Forget the idea that Apple, Dell, HP, or any other OEM can't possibly know what kind of workloads their customers are going to run. The major OEMs know exactly what their high-end professional customers run because when push comes to shove, there aren't all that many high-end applications that compete at the top ends of the market. OEMs could certify that their laptops don't throttle, define a standard suite of software using common applications, explain the reasoning, and perform the tests. There was further concern where it appeared that Intel might have pulled a tool used to reveal CPU temperature and clock speed, but this has since been returned. What's your view? Should we accept that thin laptops are unable to dissipate heat as well as thicker ones, and that a performance hit is the price of portability? Or should Apple deliver promised clock speeds even if that means MacBook Pro models have to be thicker and heavier? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So this is not an article from Apple. This is an article from 9 to 5 Mac. So I don't really, you didn't link me to, yeah, this isn't an Apple article. This is a 9 to 5 Mac article. But if you have an Apple article, I am more than happy to check it out. I don't think this is Intel's fault here. I mean, that's the thing. Like, do other laptops do this? Some do, but a lot of them don't. There are a lot of machines that don't throttle under this load, so I don't think that blaming Apple is really the... Don't blame... You know, here's the thing with Apple. Here's what kills me. Apple says we are going to give you the hardware. We are going to cherry pick this for you. No Hackintosh. That's not allowed. You can't run our operating system on anybody's hardware but our hardware because we know best how to integrate everything the way it's supposed to be integrated. If that's the case, you don't get to turn around and blame somebody else. You don't get to say, oh, this is Intel's fault, or oh, Intel doesn't make it. No. No. Your job was to pick the hardware. The reason that people are paying a premium for Apple products, and in lots of cases they get it, is they're supposed to get something that just works, and that's what they're paying the premium for. They're paying the premium to not have to build shit, to not have to modify shit. You take it out of the box, and everything is optimized. It's supposed to be able to work with all these creative suites. It's just supposed to, just works. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. That is bullshit. You can't blame Intel. You just don't get to blame Intel. Okay, if it was Intel's fault, then use ARM, or use AMD, or use IBM, or whatever the fuck. Use somebody else. But you're the one choosing the processor. I can't choose the processor on a MacBook because I can only buy a MacBook from one company. If you're giving me only one hardware choice, you don't get to complain about the performance of that hardware if you're the company that made it. Like, Microsoft can say, oh, well, Dell screwed up when they did this, because Microsoft allows me to run their operating system on many different platforms. But Apple doesn't get to pull that. No, fuck that. Let's see. For a week, let's read this next one. Apple confirms MacBook Pro thermal throttling. Software fix coming today. How many gates can one laptop have? For a week, we've been seeing reports that this newly released MacBook Pros run hot, which all kicked off after this video by Dave Lee. They run so hot, in fact, that the very fancy 8th gen Intel Core processors inside them were throttled down to below their base speed. Apple has acknowledged that thermal throttling is a real issue caused by a software bug, and it's issuing a software update today that's designed to address it. The company also apologized, writing, "We apologize to any customer who has experienced less than optimal performance on their new systems." Apple claims that it discovered the issue after further testing in the wake of Lee's video, because they didn't test these machines rendering a video before Dave Lee's video. Because after putting this machine together, they couldn't try it one time with the most popular program that people use on these devices. Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, editing and rendering video. Like, you didn't think to do this until after people reviewed it. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. And this is the thing. This is how you know Apple fucked up. Right here where it says, the company apologized, writing, "We apologize to any customer who has experienced less than optimal performance in their new systems." They didn't pull their usual bullshit, and the usual bullshit I'll show you here. Here. This is the usual bullshit. I'll show you what the usual thing is. Yeah, let me show you what the usual thing looks like. So Apple's usual crap goes something like this. Apple has determined that some iPhone 6 devices may exhibit display flickering. Not most of them often exhibit, or with the GPU. Apple has determined that a small percentage of 2011 MacBook Pros may exhibit distorted video. This is how you know that they know that not only did they fuck up, but that they know they fucked up. Because they're not saying, a small percentage of people have experienced throttling, or we apologize to the small amount of customers who may have experienced. No, they're saying we apologize to any customer who has experienced less than optimal performance, and they're not prefacing it. They're not trying to sweeten it up. They're not trying to kind of gaslight you into thinking that if it happened to you, you're part of that 1%. It's like that 1% of 1%. It's like nothing. Anyway. Apple claims that it discovered the issue after further testing in the wake of Lee's video, which showed results that Apple hasn't seen in its own testing. In a call with The Verge, representatives said that the throttling was only exhibited under fairly specific, highly intense workloads, which is why the company didn't catch the bug before release. Okay, in a call with The Verge, representatives said that the throttling was only exhibited under fairly specific workloads. What is fairly specific about rendering a video in Adobe Premiere? That's what these products do. The whole point of buying an Apple product and paying that premium for many people is that they're more stable for video and audio production. I'm not going to debate the issue with people, we can do that later. For many people, they are more stable than Microsoft platforms for audio and video production. The entire point of buying these devices is that going to any studio, going to Avatar Studio, going to any big production house, they're using mostly Apple products for that reason. Don't you say highly specific, fairly specific, high-intense workloads, which is like, because see, they're trying to sneak that in there, right? They're trying to say, yeah, it's like it's 1% of the 1%. It's go, who could have caught this? Your entire company was built on making devices for creators. People who create, edit video. Edit a fucking video. I mean, here's what you could have done. You could have edited the commercial for the new MacBook Pro on the new MacBook Pro and have seen that it was unfit for release. That's all you had to do, is literally you make the marketing materials for your new product on your new product, and you would have seen that this was not fit for prime time. This is absolute bullshit. Don't you dare walk in here with ear pods. I will kill you. The bug affects every new generation of the MacBook Pro, including both the 13-inch and 15-inch sizes, all of the Intel processor configurations. It does not affect previous generations. There's a missing digital key in the firmware that impacts the thermal management system. Yeah. Here's the company's statement in full. Following extensive performance testing under numerous workloads, we've identified that there is a missing digital key in the firmware that impacts the thermal management system and could drive clock speeds down under thermal heavy loads in the new MacBook Pro. Yes, like a heat pipe or little heat sinks on your VRMs. Like, you know how they had these little Zalman GPU RAM heat sinks that you could put on things, and like you could stick them on. You could spend $5 on them on Newegg.com 10 years ago. Yeah, missing digital key. How about missing hardware? How about you cool the shit you put inside these computers? Following extensive performance testing under numerous workloads, we've identified that there is a missing digital key in the firmware that impacts the thermal management system and could drive clock speeds down under heavy thermal loads in the new MacBook Pro. A bug fix is included in today's macOS High Sierra 10.13.6 supplemental update and is recommended. We apologize to any customer who has experienced less than optimal performance on their new systems. Customers can expect the new 15-inch MacBook Pro to be up to 70% faster, and the 15-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar to be up to 2 times faster, as shown in the performance results on our website. Apple declined to provide more detail on what precisely the missing digital key is. Of course they did. But beyond the fact that its lack impacts the thermal management system, the company is sticking to its stated performance claims in the new machines and will add one more benchmark graph to its official MacBook Pro page on its website to reflect more recent tests. The admission caps off a full week of drama on these new MacBook Pros. Surprisingly enough, thermal throttling is not the main storyline in this drama. That role falls to the keyboard. Apple persists in insisting that the redesign of the keyboard to include a silicone barrier was to make the keyboard quieter. It does so in the face of its own internal documents that state plainly how the new design should help its keyboards be more reliable when crumbs or grit make their way inside. So here's what's happening here. Apple is trying to avoid admitting that the keyboards from 2015 through 2017 were piles of crap. So what they're saying is that when they added this new layer to the keyboard, it was only to make it quieter. The reason they're doing that, and I mentioned this in an earlier video, by the way, is if they admit that they have improved the keyboard to make it more reliable, by doing that, they're admitting that these keyboards are more reliable than the old keyboards. So if these keyboards have normal reliability, that means that the old keyboards have crap reliability, and admitting that 3 years of your products had crap reliability, well, that's not the type of thing that Apple's willing to do. But yes, yeah, they are sprinkling a little bit of bullshit into this article. As for the throttling drama, making sense of the various articles and videos benchmarking these machines has been nothing less than head-spinning. Making sense of all the different results has been a challenge. Here's a couple, though. Jonathan Morrison ran an extensive battery of tests that show the i9 MacBook Pros to run faster than the i7. On the other hand, the founder of Geekbench created some custom tests that showed that the top-end i9 processors perform slower. John Poole says results from the custom stress test for the i7 and i9 MacBook Pro, on average the i9 is slightly slower than the i7. I'm working on some other tests, and some show how the i9 is faster than the i7. For example, in just about every single core test, first or sustain, the i9 is faster than the i7. So if you're using 1/6 of the processor's capability, imagine that. It actually works properly. I'll hopefully have something to share with more detailed tests and more data next week. Good work, John Poole. Now that there's a software fix that puts the so-called missing digital key back in to better manage the temperature of the processors, it looks like everybody will need to run these tests all over again. That's precisely what we're going to do. Ahead of our review, we've also reached out to Intel and will report back if they comment. Oh God, it gets worse. Leaked Apple service document confirms new MacBook Pro keyboard is designed to fix dust problems. Turns out Apple just didn't want to make the keys quieter. A recent leaked Apple service document obtained by Mac Rumors confirms what many already suspected. The newly introduced silicone membranes discovered by iFixit that are beneath the keycaps in the new MacBook Pro keyboard aren't just there to muffle sound. By the way, I was right. That keyboard is too loud, and I've been saying that for 2 years. They're also... So take that, Gizmodo. They're also there as a protective layer. What the fuck are you doing while I'm... Look at the camera when you do that. Really? Really? Can you get the phone? It won't stop ringing. A recently leaked Apple service document obtained by Mac Rumors confirms what many already suspected. The newly introduced silicone membranes discovered by iFixit that are beneath the keycaps in the new MacBook Pro keyboard aren't just there to muffle sound. They're also there as a protective layer to block dust and debris from interfering with the sensitive butterfly mechanism that has proved so problematic for some users. When Apple announced its latest MacBook Pro updates last week, one of the more notable changes to the hardware was a third-generation version of the much-maligned butterfly keyboard. But Apple insisted that the only real difference was that the updated models were quieter. Thanks to iFixit, we know that the reduced noise from the keyboards is due to the addition of a rubber membrane under each key. The repair document is the first direct confirmation we've had from Apple that the membrane is specifically designed to protect the new keyboard from encountering the same problems as its predecessors. Stop it. Just let it vibrate. Just let it vibrate. Thanks to iFixit, we know that the reduced... Well, now I'm not... Get the...
Okay.
Thanks to iFixit, we know that the reduced noise from the keyboards is due to the addition of a rubber membrane under each key. The repair document is the first direct confirmation we've had from Apple that the membrane is specifically designed to protect the new keyboard from encountering the same problem as its predecessors. Per the document, keyboard and keycaps. The keyboard is a membrane under the keycaps to prevent debris from entering the butterfly mechanism. The procedure for the spacebar replacement has also changed from the previous model. Repair documentation and service videos will be available when keycap parts begin shipping. Apple recently acknowledged that some of the users of the 2016 and 2017 MacBook and MacBook Pro laptops with earlier versions of the butterfly switches were experiencing issues with their keyboards, and it offered a 4-year extended warranty problem to deal with any issues. Interestingly, the new 2018 models aren't included in the warranty offer, and Apple won't be using third-generation keyboard parts to repair problems in older models. So let's get this straight. A, Apple changed the keyboard on the new models. B, it was not to make them more reliable. C, they have admitted that the warranty program that covers the some people only covers people that use the old keyboard, which is not less reliable than the new keyboard that they just released because. I mean, does anybody believe this? Does anybody buy this? Like, who buys this? Tell me somebody actually believes this shit. So they created a keyboard that doesn't work properly. They don't admit it. They release a warranty program for that keyboard that they won't admit didn't work properly just because they like you like that. Just because they want to give out free shit, because they're nice. Then they make a new keyboard that's supposed to not be better than the old keyboard, but they just changed it because. And then after they do that, they don't use that new keyboard on the old one because then they'd have to admit that there was something wrong with the original key. Like, why? Just tell the truth. Just say you fucked up. It's not that hard. We have to do it at least once here every single day. Just do it. Just tell the truth. The truth will set you free. The truth is the truth. All you can do is live with it, as Dream Theater said on their 2007 album. My God. So much bullshit. That's the thing. I forget who said it, but if you wanna stop putting all this work in to keep track of your lies, just tell the truth. Like, it'll make life so much easier for you. That's a shame, since the ever-increasing evidence seems to point to the fact that Apple has managed to solve the keyboard problems in a more substantial way in the newer models. The only question that remains is, why won't Apple just acknowledge that there was a problem that it fixed? The company is potentially facing class action lawsuits over the keyboard trouble, so that might at least partially explain the silence. And this is what gets me when people say, ever since Tim Cook took over Apple, they've made crappy products. Ever since when Steve Jobs was there was the sun would rise and it would never set, and there were just bunny rabbits jumping around everywhere, and the world was a peaceful place. And no. This is the same dude that told you that when you had bad service on your phone, it was because you were holding it wrong. This level of arrogance is something that has followed Apple for 30 years. It is a core component of their company culture. They will never admit when they fucked up. And I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. My sandwich arrived. I'm going to eat my sandwich. That's my rant. This probably made no sense. This is just me. I don't know. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you didn't. I'll have an informative video tomorrow and the day after on how to actually fix stuff, since this video is really just me yelling at articles that people ask me to look at. So, see you in the next one.